think it more so comes with establishing a relationship with a person first, to the point where you feel comfortable sharing, I guess, just intimate things about yourself, and then a concussion is something that I felt like I could open up about. Just because I think the recovery process is so different from a traditional injury, and it is just so. I really do feel like concussions make you vulnerable. I think you have to rely on heavily on other people, and it also puts you in a mental state oftentimes that you feel very, very vulnerable. And so the nature of a concussion, I think, is that it makes you a vulnerable person. And so I think as people, we tend to not share those types of things. And so you definitely have to establish a relationship with a person before you're comfortable sharing something like that with them. So for a while, let's see. So I suffered the last concussion I had was halfway through my sophomore year. And so that knocked me.
Of high school or college?
Of high school. And so I quit playing. I was playing competitive soccer. I had to withdraw from that. And then I went through junior year. And in the spring, I decided this is after my year of various therapies. I then decided in the spring of junior year that I wanted to play soccer for high school. And I think that was I definitely made that decision. I put a lot of thought into it, but I think overall my want to play soccer was just greater than my sense of, personal safety, I suppose. And I think sometimes you just have to realize that some things you just have to, I guess give up on, which, is definitely hard, but more so hard in the short term. I think now that I'm far enough away from that, I think it was, luckily I didn't suffer an injury, but I think it was, just generally speaking, kind of a silly thing to do. I think you really have to weigh the long-term versus short-term benefits, and I think that's why we're seeing so many athletes retiring early. We've had two notable football players retire at younger. We're seeing just younger and younger people retire, and I think as sad as it is for fans and that sort of thing, I definitely think those players feel the same way I feel felt about about quitting soccer. But I think you definitely have to weigh those long-term consequences and decide whether you want to really have a long, healthy life, or if you're going to put yourself at increased risk to potentially suffer permanent damage. And it's hard at times. For me, it's hard almost all the time, but you just got to remind yourself of what you really want to get out of life. And I think that kind of use that to dictate your choices rather than kind of the short-term feeling.